Arkan is a web developer. So if any of your team members require his help, please reach out to him. That's critical. Okay, so Arkan, what you need to do is we have, let's say, how do I show you this? So we use Microsoft Teams and we use like a Slack, right? Communication here. So we need, if you are interested to continue learning together with us and join all other different programs that we do, you can send your first name, last name, and your email address. I think in the chat, our team will be posting it shortly. Did they? No. Okay, it's here. Let me try to post this. So you can join the WhatsApp group, and you can also send your first name. If you're not comfortable with WhatsApp group for this program, you can send your first name, last name, and the email address here in the chat. So our team will add you into will create an account and add you into the Microsoft Teams. So if that happens, then you would be able to see, you will be able to have access to these, and you will be able to join one of the team that is trying to come together and build some products together throughout the year. Learn, build products together throughout the year. So you can reach out to the team members, and let me quickly introduce. We have 3 teams. So the first team is headed by Sandra, and Sandra is not here. So the other person is Mickey. So you can reach out to Mickey to understand what projects they do, and if you're interested to join that team and help, do so. Then we have a second team here headed by Greg. It's the same thing. And then the third team is headed by Finn. Finn is not here, so you can reach out to Ashwin. Okay. Is that clear? Hopefully, I believe it is clear, Arkan, for you. And we are looking forward to you coming and learning together and helping this team to grow. Okay, so now let's little bit of a recap, right? So I'm going to have a meeting with, see, I had a meeting with Farhan. See, mostly the Ramadan month should end next week, and then Farhan and team should join and continue helping you guys. And I'm also going to have a meeting next week with Capgemini to see how additional help that we can get from Capgemini to do this program better than what we are doing now. And I'm still working with Brampton to get the grant money in. It'll take some time. So if they give us, they would probably give us close to $4,000. So we can spend that money on some of the volunteers who is running this show and the tools that we are using to run the show. And we can also figure out if your team requires to buy some tools that can help you to build some products and things like that. We can spend something around that as well, right? So I'll keep you guys posted, and I'm working hard to see what are all the different ways that I can help you to achieve your learning goals to become an intrapreneur and entrepreneur. Okay, I'll keep you posted as things evolve on that direction. Now, from your point of view, I know that in the last week you updated the progress of your team. But you know what? Let's give a couple of minutes for you guys to give your update. And then I will right away today get started on learning session, right? And I'll try to complete this learning session around 6:45 or 6:50 because I have a 7 o'clock an appointment that I need to attend to. So I'll probably have to kind of close this call 10 minutes before than the usual time. I'll try my best to do that. So that's the thought process for today. So let's get started with Greg. Greg, any progress or any new updates you have from the last week to this week with respect to your team?
Hi, Carla. Hi, everyone. My team, from the research, we found that we have another, like a competitor in the market. Our project is to help students with job of the future, right? So thanks to Elizabeth, we got to find out about my blueprint. which offers similar products in the market. So we discussed at length last week, and we talked about why don't we go on and do it and do something unique. So we should have a unique selling points that makes our product different. Since it's already in the market, it can be in the market. We have competitions everywhere in the market. We can make ours unique. So we decided to continue with our product project. So what we're talking on now is actually defining the SDLC, right? So we're trying to come up with ideas about refining our requirements. So I was trying to see if I could get a business analyst to join us to help us refine our requirements, but I've not seen. But like Pankaj suggested, we can do all these things. We can just understand the concepts and try to define those requirements. When we have our requirements, we can start moving to the next phase, which is actually building the product. So what does the user wants to see? So something like that. We're still brainstorming. We're going to meet tomorrow and discuss those things. Another thing that I think is a challenge currently, we did a survey and we're not getting much response. I don't know if how Testoper can help us to push out those survey. I know there are some I think they made payments.
Did you post your survey in LinkedIn?
In LinkedIn, no, I posted in some of my groups that I belong to.
Yeah, it's okay. Also put it in LinkedIn. Talk about, like I told you last time, right? Talk about Testoper projects, 2 lines, and then say, hey, we have built a team and we are trying to build a concept. We are learning, going through the process to become an entrepreneur. And we have an idea and we have created the survey. If I'll be kind enough if you guys can take a minute to help us to fill the survey, something like that, put it in LinkedIn and tag Testoper, tag me. We can ask our Testoper team to share that. But we have volunteers, right? We can request all the volunteers to share that in their network. Maybe you will get a little bit more inputs from there. It's unfortunate, right? Because we are in COVID. Had this not been in COVID, I would have organized this session in a way that at least we would have met once in 4 sessions in person, and then maybe in downtown Toronto, and go and ask people. That's also just walk in, ask, and go to the universities and go to places. We could have done it, but unfortunately we are in COVID. We can't really do that, but we will get there. Once the COVID situation kind of settles down. But you get my point, right? Do that, Greg. And it's not only that, right? It'll help you in 2 ways. The first way is it will help you to display yourself to the contacts of you that you're doing this, right? Which will make you famous a little bit, right? And this will also help you as a leader to kind of go to the people asking for teams, maybe bringing in, you can say, hey, I'm looking for a developer to help me this. Would you be interested to join me? Like, I wanted you to become like a real entrepreneur, to pull things together, to make things together, right? Make things work together. So that's what I wanted you to get to. And if you are able to get there, that means you'll be awesome. Trust me. Okay. And by the way, I liked one statement that you were mentioning about that you wanted to find an analyst to start writing the business requirement. You know what? That is what I really wanted you guys to become. And I'm happy that you're already starting to look at it. And that normally falls in the definition phase, right? Products are defined, specified, so they can be developed. The final business case and the baseline product requirement is available. That is what happens during the definition phase, that you are already starting to think here while we are still learning together in the concept phase. That's a good news. Great, keep it up. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. I want to clarify something quickly, if you can answer. What I want to clarify is posting that on LinkedIn. Wouldn't it be like a conflict of interest with where I'm currently working? Where when they give you offer letters, they tell you spend all your time. They put all kinds of jargon in the offer letter and tell you all your time should be spent on work, something like that. So I just wanted to clarify that.
It's okay, right? I mean, if your company is not broad-minded enough for you to do this and learn things to become an entrepreneur, then within your team you find someone else who do not have that problem and ask them to post it.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, you got to make sure you don't want to end up in losing your job by doing something. Right? So you got to make sure that, or you can ask some of your mentors, right? That you have, tell them, hey, I'm mentoring this team and they have created this survey. Can I, right? Ask someone in this call. So first to figure out within your team. I wanted it to be a self-contained team that can solve the problem. That's what is my vision to help you guys to get to. But if you within your team, if you don't have anyone like that, worst case, then reach out to like Mickey, for example, right? Who's a volunteer in operations team. Maybe he can create a post for you, or you can reach out to Shad, right? And they can create a post for you, right? So who else? Here we have Gautami. She can create a post for you, right? She's also one of the volunteer of an operations team. So you can reach out to some of the people who can help you to do that. But the point is, you got to do that and independently able to create your team. That's where I wanted you to become.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Any update, Ashwin, from your team? Quick ones.
Yeah, Kader. So my team is also going through the product planning phase where we already clear the concept phase, and right now we are into the initial documentation part where my project manager Fiend is completed the project charter, and I'm also working on opportunity statement. And my team member, other team member Gautami, Hetal, and Mukit are trying to contacting the Capgemini team to get the further mentorship help from their end. So, and next tomorrow we are meeting again and discuss further the next plan of actions.
Okay, this is really good, really good. And keep me posted about the Capgemini team supporting you guys, and I can always go back and tell them who's supporting and ask for some additional help if required, right?
Sure, sure.
So I can always do that for you guys. But good, great.
I want to say something. I posted a message on Teams to Capgemini member. It's been 2 weeks, but he didn't respond. I'm not sure he's getting my message or not.
Okay, and did you have a name?
Yeah, I posted to Suratwant Hazara.
Surat.
Yeah, from the list of the members, I found only 2 which are added in Teams, and
Okay.
I posted 1.
So Surat is one. Who else is added in Teams from operations? Do you know? We have 6 members. Let me share the screen. Yeah, these are the good inputs, right? I can share it with Capgemini and see that what challenges they have and so on, right? So these are the 6 members that Capgemini gave us to support as a mentor. So Surat, yeah, I got it, Hetal. And who else do you know is in the Teams right now?
I do not remember the name, but
Okay, no worries. So let me, Farhan will be back, right? Let me also next week I'll try to set up a meeting with Capgemini and try to understand and see if they can help us more than what they can do. Either ways, I'll try to figure that out. And then if not, we will try to identify some additional companies who can support us to do that. Okay. We will not. That's the attitude of entrepreneurship, right? So we will find one or other way to really make this get the help that you guys needed. Okay. Perfect. Hey, I also see someone called Ajit Sharma. Ajit, are you new to this session or you?
Yes, I'm just joined, new to the session actually, first time.
All right. So what's your background?
I'm a developer tester, like a lot of experience in like Java, C Sharp. Yeah,
Which
CRM. Yeah.
industry?
Sorry.
Which industry? Finance, telecom?
Yeah, banking, security, education.
Awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. So we have two new, added attendees today, Arkan and Ajit. Thanks a lot for joining. And please look at the chat. So there is a WhatsApp group you can join, and if you're not comfortable joining the WhatsApp group, you can always provide your first name, last name, and email address, so we can add you into the Microsoft Teams, which is the collaboration platform that we use to communicate, right? So long story short, right, for you, I'm not sure when you joined the session. We have this particular program that happens on every Friday, 6 to 7. It is divided into two parts. First 30 minutes is where we really help people to form teams. We have formed 3 teams now, and they are working on 3 ideas to build a product and become an entrepreneur or an innovator, or learn to become an entrepreneur or innovator or an entrepreneur. So that's what this program is all about, right? And we don't really care whether you are an expert developer or you're not a developer, but the thing is, as long as you have an intention to learn the skills that are required for you to become an entrepreneur, this is the program that is all about. And we have 3 teams now, and they always constantly look for developers to help them, join them and help them. So once you join in the communication channel, and I'm pretty sure one of the 3 teams are there, they will start hunting you to find out if you are interested to join their team to help them to develop the product, both Arkan and Ajit. Okay.
Yeah, sure, Kader. Thanks.
Thanks a lot for joining, man. You should also look for other activities that we are doing. We are a non-profit, and we are like, there's no full-time employee, right? I also have a day job. So we all come together, volunteers, train each other, help each other to learn, help each other to get job, help each other to, advance in career entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship. That's what we do. It's all self-governed, run by the volunteers. If any of you are interested to volunteer in some of the team, in addition to an attendee of this program, you're welcome. You can run the program, you can organize the program, you can find the sponsors for us, you can do marketing for us. And this, like, we have like 6 or 7 teams within ourselves. All are formed by volunteers, governed and run by the volunteers. So you're welcome to join as well. So if that is the case, you can always directly reach out to me and show your interest. I'll put you through the right team members so that you can start contributing as a volunteer into Testoper community. That's what it is. Good. So now, Ashwin, thanks for your update. Let's go for a last update. We have 3 minutes. To Sandra, Mickey, do you have any quick update from your end?
Yeah, I could just give it quickly. So we started looking in the development side. So we started looking at Tichenko framework and also in Python. And we also started looking at APIs, because you probably could use Indeed to scrape the data for job hunting. And for the business side, we looked at the finance side next time.
Very good, very good.
And,
I'm happy.
Yeah, and then just before I hand it to you back, just for the operations side, the program supporters, we're planning June 10th, like I told you, I messaged you, to do fully hands-on training sessions.
Very good, very good. So a training session within a program within a program that you guys are starting. This is really good. Yeah. So I really appreciate you guys coming together and taking a topic, learning that within, like, for example, Ajit can come and help you guys. He said he's a front-end developer, software developers. Maybe he can help you guys to learn Django more. So, that's what it is, right? Come and learn together, and end of the day, become an entrepreneur. I'm happy to hear all that. Okay, so like I said, I have to exit this call like 10 minutes before. So we have next 20 minutes. Let's get into learning together session, okay? So, well, where are we now? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, kind of.
Okay, perfect. So where are we now? We wanted to learn throughout the year 4 things. And we started learning the first thing, which is called as the foundational elements. And then after this, we will learn the second thing, which is the complete product management life cycle, right? How the products are built from the concept to the end, and then continue to evolve. That's the second thing we are going to learn. And then the third thing we are going to learn is missing pieces that you need to know as an entrepreneur, right? And the fourth thing that we are going to learn is build the product and go and showcase the product and understand how to talk to the investors and angels and so on, incubators and accelerators and so on. So that's the fourth thing that we are going to learn. These are the four things that we are going to learn. And we started with the first thing. And we have been learning together since last 3 months, 4 months, number of things, right? And where we are now is here, this and this. So my goal is to see if you are able to kind of finish these two, what we started, and also kind of close on forecasting to set milestones. Because this is pretty simple in the sense, because it is kind of tied to the finance, keeping score. So you will know what it is. If you have already learned this thing, then it is easy for you to do a forecast, because forecast end result is nothing but creating a financial statement. In other words, a budget for your company, right? Let's put it that way, for your company. So let's get started. Okay, let me kind of plot this also as hello. Okay, so now let's go to that slide. Quick recap, all these, where are we? Okay, let me see. Okay, we did this. Okay, so this is what it is. Understanding customer needs and market segments. So we kind of started, I'll just give you a quick refresher as to what we discussed. So we talked about the most important thing, one of the most important thing among many different topics. One of the important topic is understanding the customer needs and market segments. And we kind of started learning about that together. And we learned together few key important points, which is critical for us to consider when we are building. So one of the goals that I have is next week, Friday, I'm trying to plan to give you some additional tools in Excel sheets that can help you with whatever that we have learned. But for now, for today's session, it's just a refresher and try to close those 2 points. So what we learned was we need to really understand few points, right? Who buys our product and why? What actually motivates them to buy the product from us, and what is the actual benefit that they value the most? These three are three different things, right? And we kind of talked about it in detail with some examples. So what is this going to really help us is, it's going to really help us to do few things. We can create a product that really customer can buy, and it will really help. And when we have a product, it will really help us to position our product in such a way that it can attract the customers. And finally, it will also really help us to make up our mind to really how to position it. Like when you do an advertisement, you do advertisement in a way that it resonates to the people that who is looking at the advertisement in the TVs or whatever, right? The tagline or whatever. So this is really going to help you to create the product, position the product, and sell the product. And in order for you to do that, you have to understand the customer needs. And that's what we kind of talked about it. And there was one of the tip of the day we kind of discussed, which was something that we need to really acknowledge. See, if we wanted to be relevant in the market, we wanted to continue to keep our job and advance in our job and become successful in our career, continuous learning is important. And Testoper is all about continuous learning. Continuous learning to develop your future skills and innovation. Like that, when you wanted to become successful in as an entrepreneur or as an intrapreneur within the company that you're working on, to create a product or add a new feature into your company's product, you have to continuously learn your customer, because the customer's needs continuously evolve. In other words, customers' needs will continuously change, and it is volatile and it is transient. So if you talk to a customer today and then you come up with a product requirement and then you build a product and go to the market after 1 year, nobody will be there to buy your product, because the change, the customer requirements and need would have changed, and all the money, time that you have put in is going to go waste. So that's why, I kind of referred as an example in our last session, moving from waterfall based development to the agile based development, which has multiple iterations. That's why all these new technologies like CI/CD, DevOps, agile, design thinking, all these things comes into the picture where you do something minimum, go validate, do something minimum, go validate, and even sell if you can, then do additional feature, give more, give more. So you got to be really in an agile way. You got to continuously learn from customers, and you got to continuously develop your product, and you got to continuously sell your product, and you got to continuously become successful. So nowadays, if you want to build a product, have a solid requirement, build a product and go to market and even validate with the customer after 6 months and even 3 months, it's not going to work. So remember that was the tip of the day that we were talking about. And the next thing that we were talking about was to really differentiate between the feature and needs. This is very, very important if you are an entrepreneur, right? Because the customers will have a need and you should be able to convert that need into a feature. So you got to really understand the difference between the feature and a need. So I gave you some examples and we talked about this example. One of the example is, a simple example is the customer wants to protect their money. So they want to have a PIN number in their credit card as an example, or ATM card as an example, right? So implementing a feature that takes care of PIN number and the security of it and anything and everything around that to protect the PIN number for that particular customer is really going to help him to protect his money. So there is a difference between the feature and need, and that's what I wanted you to really understand. Most of that, this is where we talked about some examples as user stories, right? How do you convert your customer requirements into different user stories, different features that you're going to use it in an agile way to develop it? How are you going to convert that into a user story? How are you going to prioritize that user story? How are you going to implement 1 or 2 user stories, go and validate with the customers and make sure they are happy with it? And even if they see a value, buy it from you now. Even before you launch the product, they can buy from you. There's nothing wrong in that, right? So you can always ask them to help you to support that. So that's what we talked about in our previous session. Then we also talked about tip of the day. Another tip of the day was the voice of customer. So we talked about 2 things, right? Listen and observe. These are the 2 things that we talked about. And listen, I don't know why that, okay, I kind of missed it. So let me put this here quickly. All right. So listen and observe are 2 different things. And I wanted you to really know. It's very, very important, guys, because whether you are, I gave you an example, whether you are dealing with personally or whether you're dealing with professionally, business, the listening and observing and understanding the difference between these 2 things are very important for you to become successful. See, the listen, sometimes what happens is you speak out of your mind, but also sometimes you speak out of your mouth, not thinking through your mind. So sometimes what you listen, you got to be really very careful in making your decisions by just listening, right? Sometimes you can make a wrong decision in your life, personally or professionally. But if you observe, the gesture does not lie. Like, for example, if you go and ask someone, hey, how do I get to that place? When he says, go like this and go like this, right? Go straight and take a right. And it comes with this gesture. You can always see that gesture, from my view, my experience, it never lies, right? It always syncs up with the mind, right? And what you wanted to say is what you basically show in action. So you got to, when you're talking to a customer, you got to observe. Some people will be absent-minded, but they will keep talking, but they don't know what they are talking, but they're not even interested in what they're talking. Or when I am taking a session, because it's an online, I cannot see you guys in face. It's a drawback. But when I take a session in person with you, I observe you. And does it interest you? Are you really paying attention, or are you not paying attention? So then I can modulate myself to see what can I do to help you to pay attention. right? So observe is going to really help you in many different ways. So that's the difference between listen and observe. And I wanted you to really carefully understand the differences between these two and acknowledge the fact that you do not make a decision by just one, right? Or the other. Combine this and make a powerful decision, right? Whether you are going to implement a new feature or whether you're going to drop a new feature or whether you're going to go to market, we are going to raise funding, whatever. Voice of customer is something that you should really understand, and the difference between these two things. One thing, the practical thing that I can also tell you and share with you today is that there are so many things that have come up, right? So many automation tools, so many things that has come up, but none of it is as powerful as you going and talking to the customers, meeting him, understanding what he's doing, understanding his problem statement, and seeing through from his eyes to help him. These are all very critical things. And this is the king from my view always, right? I use this word king because the carrying out the customer planning and carrying out the customer visit, understanding the voice of the customer, observing and listening, and being very close to the customers and think like them, how they can make money from their customers is what going to help you to make that person as your customer. If you go to a person and you talk to him just for the sake of making him as your customer, you might not be successful in many cases. In some cases, you might be successful, right? Not in many cases. And especially in a case where there are a lot of challenges the end customer has, you will never be successful. But if you talk to the customer and see like how he sees and help him to win his business and become successful, then automatically he will buy your product, he will buy your services because you have helped him to become successful. Right? So remember these points. These are very, very, very critical, guys. Then the next most important thing is we talked about understanding customer needs, and we have been talking about understanding customer needs for a while, right? And we also talked about market segments before. So we talked about, in our previous sessions where we wanted to talk about industries, NACIS code, and we talked about that, and we learned together what all the different industries are available, subsectors, everything that are available, we learn together, right? But that's what is going to really help you to segment the market, and segmenting the market is very, very critical for you to be successful. I know that Greg was telling that they wanted to focus on students, right? That's one type of a segmentation. So segmenting the market is very, very critical. If you are going to segment it, then you should be able to do a business case. You should be able to forecast. You should be able to build product. You should, everything, right? You can't be good at everything. Nobody can be good at everything. But you need to know everything. But you need to figure out with a focus area, a segmented area where you wanted to become the best, right? So that's the same thing. It's also applicable for the product. So when you look at the market, right, I've just given an example. This is not and no means the complete list of things that you need to look at from the segmentation point of view, but it will give you an idea, right? When you look at a market, right, so you can actually build a product that can be used by end users, right? That's a consumer market. And you can build a product that you can sell it to the businesses, right? So if you look at some of the things that are pretty common, right, you got to find out demographics, right? Meaning which age you're targeting, your product is targeting and selling to, right? So gender, income, these are some of the examples of demographics. And geographics, right? If you wanted to build a product in Canada, right, then you got to build a product that will be consumed by Canadian consumers, right? And if you are building a product in Africa, like for example, in Africa, transportation is a big problem. So if you are trying to do some drone kind of communication to give and dispatch the medicine, it will work there, right? Here in Canada, the communication is well established, so you can just drive and give it. So you got to think about all these different views of geographics, and then you got to make your decision as to which geographics that you wanted to really support, right? And 1 second. Okay, so then the third thing is values and belief. Very, very critical. A lot of people forget this. When you are trying to build a product that has a name, for example, right, that is not acceptable by a religion, right? Then or a content that is not accepted by religion, or a symbol that is not accepted by religion, then that particular product will not be consumed by that group of people, right? And let's say some people are only vegan, some people like to buy only green products. So if you are trying to really focus on building your product to sell it to that community, then that could be a one market segment for you. So this values and beliefs also becomes very, very critical when you're thinking about, coming up with a concept for your product. And also loyalty indicators, right? This is very, very critical in the sense that some of the customers, they strongly believe that, having a loyalty indicator is going to really keep their customers with them, right? For example, when you travel in the flight, you have the frequent flyers, right? When you go and buy it in some Shoppers Drug Mart, they have this loyalty indicators, right? So your product might also have some loyalty indicators embedded into it, and you are actually segmenting a customer who like for example, some people, they don't really care. Like for example, you go and go to a shop and they say, hey, do you have this loyalty card? Do you want to have one? Some people say, no, I have enough cards, I'm not interested. Some people are really very keen. They have like 100 loyalty cards, and they try to find the discount in every places, and they save the money, the smartest people in the world. So the priorities differ, right? So when you are trying to build a market, this is also another good example. So again, like I said, it's no means this is a complete picture, but probably it would have given you some kind of an indication as to how to market this, segment the market. Now, I also gave you the business market example, right? So when you're targeting your customers who are the businesses, you can say, I am going to focus on the sales department of this company. I'm going to focus on the marketing department of this company, or I'm going to focus on the company which has only 5 people, 6 people working, and my product will be sold there. Or I will be selling my product only to the health industry, and within the health industry, a company which is like 5-10 employees. And I'm going to focus on a company who is going to buy my product and build their product, which is also going to be sold to another company. That is called as business to business to business. Or I'm going to focus to a company who's going to buy my product and build their product, and their product will be sold to the consumer. Business to consumer. So it's not only about you and your product, your customers, it's also your customers' products, customers' customer, and then that customer's customer. See, all these, the connection you should establish when you're trying to come up with an idea and do things, right? These are all the things that you got to be really, really thinking about. And I hope that whatever that I'm telling really makes sense. But end of the day, right, when you're some of the things that you need to really consider. What you need to really consider is the degree to which the segment is growing. This is very, very important. Okay, this ties to the point of forecasting and budgeting. Very, very important, right? So if you choose a segment and if that segment doesn't grow, like for example, the telecom segment globally in the world, it grows 1 to 2%. Now, within the telecom segment, there are so many small things. There are some segments that grows like 100%, 300% a year. So you got to really look at that. How the product that is going to be consumed by the segment that you decided your product will be used, what is the growth rate? How many competitors are there? How can I, this is very, very important. So you've got to really understand the segment that you chose for which you are building the product. What is the growth of that particular segment? Who are the competitors in that space? How can I actually go and access that space? Sometimes you can directly go and sell. Sometimes you can put it in your website and then you can do a social media marketing. Sometimes you can use the channel partners in South Korea or some other partners to resell your product and do services in that local country. So the channel, how do you distribute your products? How do you get your products to the hands of the customer that you are building the product is also very important. So the profit to be gained by bringing products and services to those segments. So these are all very, very important things that I wanted you to consider, right? So it's not about knowing the code and writing the code and building a product. But that a normal developer can do without knowing anything about it, right? But this Testoper project is all about helping you to understand not only that, but also all the things that are surrounding, so you can become a smarter person in your company. So when you're going and talking to your boss, hey, I like this feature and I wanted to implement this, makes no sense. But now whatever that you have learned so far, if you go to your boss and you say, hey, I want to develop this feature, and this feature is going to, our product today is targeted for this particular customer segment. And within this customer segment, there is a group of people, our product is not being bought or used. Now, if I add this feature, this group of people will also buy our product, and our sales will grow from 100 units per month sales to 150 units per month sales. And in this particular feature that I'm going to do, there are other competitors in that space. However, all other features that we have, our customers will prefer to buy our product with this feature rather than going to the competitors and buying a product for that particular feature. And we already have different people selling it direct, indirect channel, and it's easy for me to sell it. So see, if you go and tell to your boss like this, he will look at you. Wow. But if you go and tell him, hey, I have these features and I wanted to do this. If he asks why, you will have no answer. Then you are like one among other. But if you do like this, based on whatever that we have been learning together as a Testoper project in the Testoper project team, and if you're able to articulate all these things to your boss, he will look at you in different level. You don't realize how is it going to change your life in the next evaluation for salary raise, promotions. So many things it can help you, even in the company that you're working for. So all that we have learned so far, if you use those words, terminologies, when you're talking to your company, to your boss, your colleagues, it will make a difference. Okay. So that's understanding customer needs and market segment. Now, what I wanted to really talk about is forecasting to set milestone, but unfortunately I crossed my time and I have an appointment at 7. Like I said, I need to get going, but I just wanted to kind of paint a big picture at a very high level. So what will happen is in our next week meeting, what I will do is this one now is covered. Okay. This one now is covered. So I'll be talking about forecasting to set milestones and some tools I'll try to come up with. And then we will try to finish the strategic planning. So the goal is we are in the first week of May, and probably by, I would say 21st, we will complete the foundational elements, and then we will jump into product lifecycle, right? And that probably will continue for next couple of months or so. 2 or 2.5 months, then we will get into the entrepreneurship, and finally the 4th point, and we will end the year, right? So that's the thought process. So what am I going to really talk about is this, these are connected, right? So we talked about finance and we learned about different financial statements like balance sheet, profit and loss, income statement / income statement, and so on, right? Now, why did we learn about that? Because if we know that, we should be able to budget it for 3 to 5 years for our organization, right? That we are building as an entrepreneur. So that's what it is. That's what we learned. Okay. Now it's that now you have an idea. You have already gone through all the things that we have learned so far. Now you have an idea and you are in the concept phase. You have an idea. And now next what? You got to start forecasting to set the milestones, right? To get into the next phases in your project. And you need to do some number math, right? In the previous session, we learned about finance and financial statements. Now this one is really, you got to do that. So there are certain terms that are used. When you go to your boss and say, hey, I want to implement that feature, then you should be, if you talk to him like, hey, the total size of the market that our product addressing today is $10 million. And I am implementing this feature that will expand our market, addressable market by $15 million. And I need you to invest on this feature to implement, which is going to cost you $200,000, which is going to give you an addressable market of $5 million. Even if your sales guys are able to close it first year $1 million, second year $2 million, third year $3 million, I mean, this investment is going to give company a lot of money. You'll be like, whoa, you know, that's the kind of thing, you know, that we are learning together and understanding it together. So forecasting to set milestone, we will look at it in our next session, followed by the other topic. And most probably next to 2 sessions to 3 sessions, we will complete our first foundational elements as such. So have we learned together something today, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kader.
Perfect, perfect. And those who have joined newly, please feel free to go to the previous sessions in the YouTube and learn, but you would not miss anything, because if you start continuing to attend from now on, I always give a recap. So, you know, even though I would not have been, you have not attended the details sessions, but, you know, I will connect the dots in a way that you don't miss it, right, for the future sessions. But nevertheless, you know, you're free to go and look at the previous session session presentations, and yeah, see you guys next week, and happy weekend. I'll see you, some of you, you know that we have a new program starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Building app using microservice architecture. It's an awesome program, right? It will really help you to learn how to build applications using microservice architecture. So if you have not registered it, register it in the Eventbrite, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. for that. And if not, I'll see you guys on the next week Testoper projects. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Enjoy, guys.
Thanks, Kader.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Looking forward, Ajit and Arkan supporting our team and helping our team to learn together and grow together.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.